Hello. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome. This is the NgoVo Convo podcast. I'm Harrison, and I'm joined by Veronica. Make yourself known. You're over there. That's fine. You know,
I'm
do
here.
the usual. Because we both wanted an excuse to talk about anything that entertains us, but really to clean up our never-ending backlog, which, Veronica, I would say that we are also going to be conversing.
Wow, like NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo logos above Harrison's head. He's pointing at it.
So you know how to spell, because I don't sometimes.
Wow.
But there it is. It's my own reminder, because you can watch every episode on youtube.com or listen to it as a podcast by searching up NgoVo Convo on your podcast service of choice. I had a better segue for that, so I felt like I paused and I felt like I missed out. I was like, damn, I can't recover
I know.
Could have done it, but it's fine. But you know what else is awesome? This video is also sponsored by Olipop, but more on that later. Veronica, you were actually
Harrison?
super excited to watch this. You brought it up first, really. That's why. I actually was never going to bring it up to you, but you brought it up. And so this episode's about Devil May Cry, the Netflix run animated series. 2025 version. I'm only saying this because there is an anime version.
There's an old version.
I think 2007. Let me see.
Like 2000s, right?
Yeah, it was. Let me see. May Cry anime, because this is where like some people get confused, or people, if you search it up, yeah, it's like 2007, but it's actually the anime version, like legit anime. While this is animated anime, that's fine. The other one's made in Japan, and the other one's like here. Is what I think.
Yeah.
It's fine. So we'll be talking about that. We'll give our non-spoiler thoughts initially, and we'll get into the nitty-gritty right after. But Veronica, thoughts? Because you, again,
Non-gamer.
I was gonna add, yes.
My thoughts on non-gamer to gamer now. All I have to say is that Dante's really hot in this.
You have a type.
And I think your wife would agree.
You have a type. She actually, I was yeah.
I like this a lot.
Yeah,
no, I like this a lot.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was like the premise.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was just coming in blind. And I got, it was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. My husband enjoyed it. It was like short and sweet. I think all 8 episodes released on Netflix like a couple weeks ago. So yeah.
So I'm also going to premise, I know of the games. I followed some of the plot. I actually have never played them when it came out on like PS2 and all that. I have it in my Steam library. I legitimately have been trying to find time to play the OG run, like 1, 2, 3,
but
4.
They're really old, right?
So the first one came out, I think 2000. Let me see.
Because I feel like your brother was complaining about like graphics.
Yeah.
They're really old.
It's like 2001 or something. Yeah, 2001.
Okay.
But that's like PS2 era. And I think 2002. I think Devil May Cry 2. I don't remember if 3 was. I think 3 was on PS2 also. Let me see. I'm just curious. Yeah.
My
PS2,
husband has 5.
He has 5. Yeah. So
Yeah, he has 5.
So I'm only saying this because I am aware of how the vibes and everything. I know generally how the plot is, and I know of the characters. So my interpretation's also loose, but I have a bit more quote unquote video game knowledge than Veronica on this one. I thought so. This is where I have to say, with a caveat, I think it was a good animated show. I thought it was fun to watch.
Okay.
I think they got the main beats down, but this is like, if I'm me just watching with my wife, I'm like, oh, this is fun. This is great. I think it's a fun like way to get into the series. But I've told Veronica, I think you've also seen this. People have complained online. Like there's a lot of fans that complain about this.
Yeah.
And I actually agree with some of it. And we'll get into the details on that. But I think if you're a hardcore like fan, give it a shot. But I think you might have to have like the caveat of like this.
Like turn your brain off a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. You kind of. I think what the best way someone explained it was, this is like an Elseworld scenario in comparison to the mainline story. It is still Devil May Cry, it still has Dante and all that stuff, but it is definitely like alternate. It feels very alternate.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I read on, I think Reddit, they did switch a couple of the plot points around.
Yeah, and I think for those that are so used to, and I'm only adding this for those that played the games, from my understanding, and I think this is a Netflix issue. This Netflix story writing is Netflix style. And have you?
Yeah.
And this is a non-spoiler, but I think like for Netflix shows, they have this formula where it is easy for someone to just look on their phone while having a show in the background. And you've seen enough Netflix shows. If you watch it and you just pay attention, you start realizing they have a lot of exposition for stuff, or they spell things out very plainly. It's
do.
because it allows a viewer to just have their phone out and not pay attention.
Yeah,
because,
like a second monitor.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah. They make it easy
which
for
you are right.
Yeah. And that's a lot. I think
yeah.
so. I think the Netflix problem is the plot point is very simple, but the action overall is great. I think the action is great. I think the music is great. I actually think they got the characters down relatively well, but there's some that I will nitpick in the spoiler section.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm excited to hear this.
Yeah,
this is the first time that we are like kind of probably opposites.
Last time was Avatar.
Last time was Avatar.
And that's not a really good movie anyway.
No.
It's not that deep. Like, you know? So,
no, but it was for 4 hours.
Okay, that's fair.
Please.
So, I think I noticed it as I watched, so I took into account what people complain about. So I was going to ask you in the spoiler section what your thoughts were. So, or bring it up so then you have an idea of like what.
Like you can explain to me,
I can probably explain a little bit better. So that's why I wanted to host this one, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, that was offline talk. But no, honestly, overall though, I do think it's fun. I think for the general audience, if you look online, it's rated really well, and I agree, it is a fun action show. And I think that's to its benefit. Like the animation and everything's great. If you're the music choices, I'm a sucker for like
rock and roll,
like punk rock, all that stuff. I'm a sucker for it. So hell yeah. Overall though, I think it is fun. But I think if you're a hardcore fan, I think you have to temper expectations. Or at this point, you've probably read stuff online and hate it. I didn't think that's just, it is what it is. But I think it's a good way to get people into the series. But it's just
and probably play the game as well.
It did make me want to play the game. So I actually installed it. I think I told Veronica like the night that we finished it, like my wife had to go to bed early. So I'm like, I'm going to install this game real quick. And yeah, we'll get into it. The vibes are definitely different.
Yeah, my husband started playing 5 like the next day after we finished.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, I guess I'll play a little bit.
So I think overall it's a fun show, but I think it is probably I think the goal is probably just more like get people into the franchises.
Yeah.
For sure. And get them to play the games and all that stuff, because it is a very good series.
It is. And I'm excited for season 2. They announced it right after it dropped, like a couple days after.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So I think that's everything non-spoilery that I can say.
Yes.
Same for you.
I love Dante. That's it. That's the non-spoiler thoughts from me.
It is her trope that it is her type. Can't confirm.
It is.
But on that note, we are actually going to take a quick break, Veronica, to talk about our sponsors.
This episode is sponsored by Olipop, the soda your gut will thank you for. Yes, I'm talking to you, all of you. All right, have you ever missed that classic soda pop feeling? You know, the fizz, the flavor, but without the sugar crash and the guilt trip? Yeah, me too, you too, Harrison too? All of us. That's why I'm introducing to you Olipop, the soda that's bursting with flavor and good for you too. I actually have my favorite one here, strawberry vanilla. But the other weird one that I enjoyed was banana cream. I know, it's weird, super weird, but this is my favorite. Number 1. because it only has 3 grams of sugar per can, plus it has 9 grams of prebiotic fiber. And you know what you need with fiber? To use the restroom. Hee hee hee. But yeah, that means that you're going to have a happy and healthy gut with every sip. And it looks like that they took everything we loved about classic soda and upgraded to a modern, healthy conscience person. Like you, like me, like Harrison. My co-partner. My co-host. That's not here right now. So ditch the compromise and experience the soda revolution for yourself. Don't forget to use our promo code NgoVo15, NgoVo15 to get 15% off your first order on drinkolipop.com.
And we're back.
Wow.
Thirsty?
Yes.
Me too.
For water and Olipop.
Of course. All right, Veronica. So, spoiler section. Last warning, spoiler section. Let's just kind of go down the typical list of stuff. Plot. Like, I think the easiest thing to go off of is plot. And overall, what did you think of the Devil May Cry, or how, for you as someone that hasn't played the games, right? And just actually not even that, just not going and not knowing anything. What was your overall, like, how'd you feel about the plot overall?
Bunnies are scary. Okay.
But also like low-key hot at the same time.
Yeah, at the same
switch
time,
up?
low-key hot. Honestly, I feel like since I went into this blind, I just really enjoyed how simple the plot is. Like, you could honestly, if you wanted to, go into like episode 3 and then like ride it out from there if you really wanted to, because it's one of those like series where you can just kind of, I don't want to say start anywhere, but early on I think you can start anywhere, if that makes sense. I feel,
You mean the show?
I don't know,
Wait,
to me,
show?
yeah, the show, because I feel like how they did it, like, now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, they did it in a way where you just could enter in somewhere after 1.
Okay, I get, yeah.
You know, like, they were introducing so many people in 1, 2, and 3 that, like, episodes that you could just really enter yourself into,
I guess,
one of those episodes. But I mean, I wouldn't recommend that.
Obviously. Well, yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, it feels like I would say the plot's it's simple enough to follow. I think that's what it is. Like, I was mentioning earlier in that I feel like Netflix's style is very like second monitor activity. So it's easy for someone to just, like, if you lose concentrate or you just aren't paying attention, you jump in, you're like, okay, I know what's going on.
You just jump in, yeah.
Like, that's just the Netflix thing. I think that's just that's their
I
thing.
actually did not like a character, and I don't
get
know
to
if you're
that.
going to
We'll get to that in a bit.
disagree with me.
No.
Okay.
We'll get to that. Characters is a section, trust me. But I think overall plot is very simple. I think it's simple.
It's just so simple.
And I think that's
that
also the issue of Devil May Cry has so much lore. And I think that's where first gripe for a lot of people is there's so much written content out there that how can you not, this is also just a video game adaptation thing to me too. Or books.
Okay.
Anything like that. It's like the content is there. How can you not? And it's good. It's
follow
not.
it.
It's not that it's bad. It'd be different if it was too simple that it's bad, or like it's a Mario movie, right? Like, how much story is there typically? If you're just, you can claim other games, but
do you feel like I know there was a lot of lore. I actually read up on it, but after I watched it, do you think they diverted because they needed like a uniqueness to this animated series because there was already an anime out there?
No, I don't think that.
Or do you think it was kind of just like a Netflix, like, oh, let's just be on our own a little bit?
I don't think that's a big play. I think it always boils down to like the director and like who the creator and all that stuff. I think it's a creative choice more, if anything. I don't think it's ever because no one's ever gonna say, oh, you need to make it this different.
That's true.
And most of the time for like adaptations, most people are not expecting they want to see a live action adaptation or like an animated adaptation.
Or animated.
They just want to see more of what they like, right? And it's like, oh, introduce a way for someone that doesn't know the series to understand why you also like that, right?
Yeah.
I think that's more of what it is typically. And this is in general.
And Arcane is really good.
Yeah,
for someone who doesn't play.
Yeah, and I think Arcane does a very good job in building their world. Like they twist the little things, but it's enough that it's like, oh, it still showcases League of Legends in a good way, right? Should you go play that game? I don't know. Here, it's like more. I think it's doing the opposite effect here, where it's like, oh, Devil May Cry's plot point, and everything is like, everyone's like, oh, it's too simple. Go play the game and experience that. I think that's a easy segue, honestly.
That's what someone said. Someone was like, if you like this simple plot, go play the game because it's like 10 times more twisty.
Yes. And the vibes are different. But so I think I want to add, like, for plot and everything, that's probably why some people are like, that is most likely why most fans are upset, in that like it's too simplified to where it ignores, or it tries to set up certain things, but it ignores what they set up, and it feels like it's too all over the place.
Yeah.
And we'll get into I think so. Important thing is characters.
Were you upset with that, or did you enjoy how simple it was?
As I was watching it, I didn't care too much. I'm gonna be honest. I think I was trying to just watch it, and I was just. I think it was one of those, like, I'm watching my wife react to stuff because I'm just curious, like, if she, like, it's that kind of thing for me. I was just like, I know the idea of this, but as I'm watching, she'll, like, be like, is that a thing? I'm like, no, I think they switched that no, I think there's too much focus on this type of deal. Like, if we're talking in terms of plot, I think they focus too much on, what is it called? What's it freaking called? What's the organization? They focus too much on the organization and like lady, and not enough on Dante.
I will agree with you on that.
Like, if we're talking in terms of plot, and this is going to kind of get into characters too, but I think the main issue also is, it's not that it's too political. I don't think that's an issue. I think that's just something we're used to for media. But I was curious, this is where I was curious for you. Did you feel like, as Dante's the main character, you got more of everything else? I felt like he was 1/4 of the show.
That was what I wanted to talk about, because that's where my disdain for our character came from.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
I was just like, why is Dante like he was like maybe 15. We were 15 minutes into one of the episodes, and he wasn't there yet. And he was there for like the last like 2 minutes, and then it was like credits.
Let's rip the Band-Aid. Who's the character you're talking about?
I don't like Lady.
And that's okay.
I don't like Lady.
That is okay. You are actually in the majority. I don't like Lady.
I don't like Lady.
Because here's the thing. If we're going to talk characters, so just to let you know, she says the F-bomb way too much. Not saying that you shouldn't.
Yes.
But it just felt very forced and just kind of like, all right, bro, get it. Like effing this, effing that.
It was like every other sentence.
Yeah, and it was like, weird. Yeah. That's not how she is in the show or in the game.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know.
She is not that stuck up and super hyper focused.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
It felt like she just had like the hyper focused tunnel vision. Like, here's demons are bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, yes, she's
but
right.
I liked her backstory.
Yes.
That was cool. The parallel with like the white rabbit and whatnot.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
That's great.
Adult Lady is not that
what
great.
They need to do, and I think what they needed to do is somehow balance, because if Dante's your main character, it felt like and she's known as like the like side character. She's an important side character. But it would have helped if we got more Dante along with her stuff.
Along with her, yes.
Like, not that we need the banter.
And the team. Yeah. And her team or whatever.
I actually felt the team was kind of forced too. I kind of didn't care much for it.
A little bit, yeah.
I was just like, why do I care about these guys? I think that's my main thing. It's like, why do I need to care about these guys? And I kept watching as they do like these weird tropes and all that. It's like, oh, look, like, it's like, my wife was sitting there and we noticed like that couple, he has his arms around the other lady, and I was like, oh no, she's about to die, blah, blah. And I think the whole plot point of like the rabbit trying to ruin her, like, just essentially mess with her team and like, do all that, which is fine, but it just felt like we got more of like the organization, Lady, the team. And you know what's crazy is Vice President Baines, voiced by Kevin Conroy, which is crazy. I
Yeah,
didn't
Kevin.
expect that.
Yeah.
I did not expect. I knew he did projects, but I didn't know he at this far out, which is really sad. Rest in peace.
I think it's his last project.
We said that for. Well, we said that for.
Well, we said that for
Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, there's Batman. There was a game too, and all this stuff. So
Yeah, there's.
we don't know. At this point, I can't tell.
Who knows? Yeah.
But he did a fantastic job, right? It just felt like we focused too much on the organization. So it's funny because I actually loved his character in that it's just he's a very like religious like
A
leader.
little too religious, may I say.
Yeah, like very like yeah, but it's just like I loved like the seeing his character and it had like a lot of presence and everything, but again, where's Dante? I think that's where I always came back to.
Yeah. And my question to you is, Dante, I read that there was a lot of complaints about his character because video game Dante seems a bit more emo and stoic, and then this Dante seems really cocky and kind of like more out there as a character.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure if you liked one or the other.
So I think, and I'm going to have to pull in the anime on this portion because I remember kind of watching the anime from 2007. That Dante was very serious and he could kill things very fast. While here, it gives enough time for him to have quips and like be fun. And he has his silly moments. So I think it's just like maybe for some it's a bit much, but I'm also a sucker for that kind of character too. For like the smart ass character, honestly. Some of the one-liners were kind of okay. Like they were like, all right, cool. But it wasn't like. Sometimes
I love the
felt
one
forced.
where he's like, "Who are we shooting at?"
I
And you're
looked
supposed to be
okay.
shooting
I
at
did
him.
find that funny. I think it was very funny. Again, I think for animated stuff, I think it's fine because it was just funny to watch and it's very. They got the point across. Like he's. I think they did him well still, in comparison. Like if they made him too emo, because here's the thing: there was another game, Veronica, just to give you some more lore. There's another reboot game where he was very emo. Or like very like punky and all that stuff, and people did not like that game. And it was actually called DMC as a reboot to like not say Devil May Cry, but it only had the one game, and then it went back to 5, which is the one that your husband's playing.
That's so funny.
So there's this whole again. This has been a very there's a lot that comes with this series. I think it's fine. I thought it was fun for the characters. I think it's for him, right? I think it was fun. It made it fun. I don't know if you saw this, but I felt in the games though, he's a lot more badass and stronger in the first game even. While here he seems like he's having trouble with anything.
I know. I read that in the game, Dante knew he was part
He is aware.
demon, devil.
Yeah.
But here it seems like he's resisting
Yes.
a little bit.
I think that's just a plot thing. I think that's more like character.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's my gripe though. Like that was actually gonna be my next gripe that you brought up.
Wow, perfect.
How can he has that? His arc is literally just I've come to terms that I'm a demon, and now I will just do demon stuff. Meanwhile, Lady has this whole complex like overarching like coming to Jesus moment of like demons aren't all bad, but there's enough that then blends into another. Well, then here's the thing. I want your opinion. Did you like that plot point for the demons?
The ones that had
there's
to like
a gray
come
area.
here?
Yeah, there's a gray area, and that there's some that are good.
Yeah, I did.
Are you okay with that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
So
I think because it's like okay, it's weird, but it's kind of reflecting on like reality right now a little bit. So I think it's fine to me. What I thought was a little weird was like they couldn't breathe the air that they
because they're weak.
Supposedly was born in.
Because they're weaker. Yeah, it's.
I guess
became more toxic.
Yeah. It became more toxic. That was the one thing I was like, wait, they were born there.
Yeah.
But the air is not good for them,
Yeah,
so they have to go to Earth.
So
yeah,
and that I was actually just curious on like your thought point because that's another contested point of people not liking it. And I was just curious. I'm mainly to bring it another example I heard that I refer back to actually is hearing someone talk about Lord of the Rings, the TV show. Have you seen the TV show? Or some of it?
Yeah, I didn't like it that much.
Did you notice how they did the Urukai thing, which is similar to this?
Ah.
That's what I'm going to point to.
I see.
Like, Urukai are just supposed to be bad, mindless,
Bad.
evil
Yes.
spawn. Demons, technically, by the way, like the games are, same idea. They're just evil.
Same idea, right?
And then all of a sudden, now you're going to say, oh, they're kind of good. I understand why what you were talking about is like, the U.S. government can be bad.
Shitty.
Like, oh no, humanity sucks. Like, I get it. We've seen that plot point. And I get it. It's not a bad. It's a very easy.
It's reused a lot.
It's a very easy conflict that to just be like, hey, look, humans are bad. This is why we're bad. But I think it's weird to say that humans are bad, but demons are good.
Yeah.
Or can be.
I
good.
see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Because it's like demons, like they outlined as demons are bad,
Yeah.
humans are good. And then, yeah, I see where ladies like conflicted. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, some of them aren't that bad.
Yeah. Which is, it works for like like I can see that for aliens. I can see that for like other
Aliens,
stuff,
yeah.
but it just feels
Yeah.
coming for the series. If we're gonna do like that, like in a
Put
vacuum
it in a
space,
box. Yep.
and here's Devil May Cry. I just want to give you the perspective of like, well, demons are just bad, right? Demons are evil, so
Yeah,
we're supposed
yeah.
to just go with that and keep the action, right? But here we are fighting more humans than demons.
Yeah, then demons.
So that's all. I'm just bringing up points that I've thought about. I just didn't think about it as I was watching, but then I sat there and I'm like, and I saw other people complaining. I'm like, no, that is what I was
You're
thinking.
right.
I was like, there's something off, but I don't know what it is. And I was like, yeah, it is weird to see more humans there's more combat with humans. There's not that you'll have like the big demon like lead, like those like
Yeah.
the main ones that with the sword, the serpent lady, the goo man, and then the goo man realizing like, oh, they've killed my people, now
Humans
I
are
will kill them.
bad.
And I'm like,
yeah.
that's why I'm like, I think just the plot is too simple to where it kind of shoots itself in the foot,
The foot, yeah.
and it's just
As you're talking about this, I'm like, do I really actually like it?
no.
but I
But
still
here's
do
the-
actually
but
like
here's
it.
the thing. The animation is actually solid. I think it was good.
No, yeah.
And then the action sequences are actually really fun.
And it was very bloody,
Yeah.
and there was like good music that goes along with
The music
it.
usage
I think
was
that's
fun.
what really
Yeah.
caught me.
Yeah. And that's why I'm like, overall, you had to. I think that's why I'm like, that's why I said nitpick. But if I were to just say like, oh, it feels like an action flick, where I'm like here just to turn off my brain,
Turn off your brain.
or
Yep.
and it's not that. It's like make it to where it's like it's not that deep and just watch it for what it is. But I can see like as a series, you want for really like big fans, you want more. You want to show
you want
why
more, yeah.
it's good,
Yeah.
like actually why it's good. So
Yeah, and then Dante, I guess here, knew that his brother died. And I think in the video game, he didn't know
actually,
if his brother was dead or not.
no, or okay, actually,
Or or there wasn't like confirmation in the video game, apparently.
yeah, not for
Until
a while.
much later.
Yeah. I'm only
Like,
saying
much
this as
later.
I'm gonna timestamp this for myself. I only just started playing the first one, and at that point, the way he talks about it is that his mom and brother are dead, and he wants to, but he is aware of that, and he wants to kill every demon because of that.
Yeah.
So it is almost there, almost the same idea, except he just kind of
Yeah.
is more jokey about it in the Netflix one,
A little bit.
just a little bit. But
Just a
that part
little
is the
bit.
same, where he believes that he's like, yeah, my mom's dead, my brother's dead, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Do you have any
I
other
mean,
questions?
his brother's hot too, so what am I supposed to do?
Okay, I will add. This is where I'm gonna get into some of the pros I had fun with. This is the fun, just like the fun little stuff.
Like the fun
Like,
stuff, yeah.
His Virgil coming at the end, popping up like that theme song is like his theme song. Like
Is that his
that's
song?
his theme
Okay.
song. Like I was sitting there and I'm like, all right, there's totally gonna show Virgil coming up, and I want to know. And I'm like, this is Capcom. They can play the song, right? Because that's where some people can't play the song. Like if you show,
That's
it's copyright,
funny.
right? So it's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
you can't play it. And of course they like show him, and it's like with his theme song. I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna nut. Yeah, this is it. Like I understand the Virgil hype, so I'm like, oh, this is good.
No, but he's hot too. Like, what am I supposed to do?
You need to.
What else?
It's actually crazy because like this is just a fun fact for you. Like they're technically, I think they're twins. I forgot, but
I think they're twins.
I forgot.
Right?
Comment down below. I could look it up right now. Oh, you know what? Screw it. But
I
so
think they
I'm just
are
saying this
twins.
because if you look at he has his hair up, right? But there's
Yeah.
a point in the game where his hair falls down and it looks exactly like Dante.
That's funny.
So it's like, and at one point I think you see Dante comb his hair back up and it looks like Virgil.
Like
So I'm like,
Virgil.
oh, this is really cool. Because I want to give you the accurate stuff because I have fallen out.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm curious to see where this whole Virgil story goes. Like, I know nothing.
Yes, they are
how'd he
identical.
go?
Okay.
How'd he turn into
Wait.
this
Also,
demon and just stayed here
so-
and like
yeah,
all
and it's
kinds
just
of
like,
stuff? I don't know.
but I think season 2 will be interesting still. I think it'll be fun to watch. It's the same gripe with Castlevania for some people because it's made by the same dude. It's created by the same guy.
Okay.
So that's why like the
I
art
didn't
style and
know that.
everything's kind of the same. But
Yeah.
but you watch Castlevania, right? Like
Yeah, no, I have.
I don't know about
The
the new
original-
one. Yeah, the original
And
one.
I've seen Nocturne. Nocturne?
Yeah, I think he
Nocturnal?
also worked on Nocturne. I don't remember, but
Okay.
a lot of people also had some gripes about Castlevania, which I still think is a fun show. But again, that's
It's a
me not
fun
knowing
show.
too much about Castlevania lore either, because I'm like, okay, it's a Metroidvania game, cool, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I think some cool little things though is like it's the games made by Capcom, right? So they actually put in a lot of Easter eggs.
That's what I've heard.
Because
Yes.
they include like Mega Man, for instance, right? Who's under Capcom. Street Fighter's in there too. So I think there's like little fun things where it's like as a Capcom fan, you'll probably like love.
See it and love. Yeah.
So I think there's like stuff like that is fun, but I don't think it's enough to like. It doesn't hide
keep
the
it
plot
going.
points and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Oh, and then I was talking to music. So it's like just the fact that Capcom's on board, it's easier to get all this like little stuff to go in. Because even like Dante does like a shuriken punch.
Yes, he
And
does.
I'm like, yes.
Or he does his little like video game cut
Yeah.
and he's like playing the video game. That was really funny.
Dance or DDR. Yeah. I thought that was
DDR,
hilarious.
yeah.
So good. Yeah, I think overall though, like it's just a fun action show. I think that's really what it is. And I don't know. I hope I want to see what they do because you're right. Because I think the rabbit plotline was actually really cool.
That was really cool.
I thought it was a good twist.
Did not know rabbits could be hot either.
The twist that he was actually
And-
human was like actually kind of
and
cool though.
yes.
I was like, okay, that's actually nice.
Yeah.
I did not see
But
that
every
coming.
time he came up in our little group chat, I was like, I'm scared of bunnies. I'm scared of bunnies now.
Dude, because some of that stuff was like messed up.
No, honestly.
Crazy.
Like him sewing himself into that bunny mask, I was like, no.
I just love. I
Absolutely
think
not.
you sent the tweet where it was like, you're gonna tell me that this man was actually this good looking this whole time,
Yes!
and I'm like, dang, it's true.
When we got to episode 6 and it was like no, sound or no talking or anything, no music, it was like a silent, like black and white movie. And then when he started talking at the end of it, I was like,
Actually, can we? Yes, I want to mention that. It's crazy that I think episode 6, with that was the best episode. Which
Yes.
can you imagine? To me, that's the best episode, and we were complaining about plot and line delivery and everything, and that's the best one because there's almost
that was
there's no talking.
absolutely no talking. Just backstory.
Like I was literally sitting there and I was like looking at my wife. I'm like, there's about to be no talking this entire episode, and this is the best episode so far.
The best and saddest.
Best and the most depressing. Like
Yeah.
it's like yippee. Episode 6 walks out with 56 bullet wounds.
No more yippee.
I've been shot 57 times. It was depressing. I was like, dang, it's good. But
No,
I was
it
like,
was.
it's again. I'm like, I think I'm not saying that the big bad was like overall bad. It just felt like there wasn't the focus is kind of weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I see where you're coming from
Yeah.
after we're talking
Yeah.
more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that the next season will then point to, oh, we're gonna help out these demons. You know, like they already set up
Yeah.
Sparta as like the savior and everything.
The savior
They gave
of
him,
Earth.
yeah. Which they
And
which
so
is
now Dante's locked up, so it's like,
yeah.
what's going on now?
But Virgil's there, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you're curious about for this, or?
I'm just curious if I'll ever like Lady. Like, I was telling my husband, I was like, this is like, I know it's like a setup, like intro season, so I do have to hate her. But then I asked him, I was like, will I eventually like her?
No, but it's crazy because your husband's playing DMC or DMC5, and there's a
Yeah.
point when Lady actually pops up, and people were ecstatic. So I'm just telling you, I'm
Yes.
telling you, like,
Yeah.
she's not like that in the games. So it's really weird. I think they just
Yeah.
made her too. I don't know what's the word. Like, just too. Like, it's crazy because I think making her badass and fighting and all that, like, it's not bad.
It's fine.
It's
That
amazing.
was
I think
fine.
that's awesome.
It was the personality.
It's the personality and just saying f-bombs left and right, but also it felt weird. Like, she felt very overpowered, and here's Dante like almost dying every time
Yes.
when he should be
Getting
like,
stabbed.
he should not be having this issue. Even though they showed him getting stabbed and he's fine, but then all of a sudden getting stabbed and shot again and almost dying. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's not consistent. I think the issue is it's not consistent. So I hope they clean that up season 2.
Yeah. No, I hope they fix it
Yeah,
with all like the fan feedback and
we'll see.
I guess the lore. I'm just excited.
We'll see.
Seems
what
like
they
there's
do.
a lot of lore here
Yeah,
that they should pick up on.
yeah. They should, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll
We'll
see.
see. Yeah, I guess for those that like Castlevania too, or like Castlevania but didn't like the show, let us know if like you feel like, because that's another great example. Is that was going on for 3 seasons, and if they didn't, because remember like how season 2 felt like they focused on vampires too much
Yeah.
and not enough, you know,
Everything else.
everything else.
Oh.
I feel like there's that issue here already, like off the bat.
Yeah.
But hopefully just fix it, because then season 3 was fun and amazing to watch. But again, I was just here for the action. So
I was just here for Dante.
so after our talk today, do you feel like how, like, before it seemed like you had like a really good time, but did that change, or did it just like give you better perspective?
I think it just gave me better perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm not going to play the game.
Right.
I would like the lore to just surprise me next time again.
Yeah.
But I think it gives out a good perspective of like, oh, they should have done XYZ here, or like, obviously, I would agree with you. I need more Dante, not for visually, but like,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
he's the
visually.
main character.
I
No.
how'd you react when she pulled the shirt expecting to see like the demon thing? He's like,
I gasped.
the 6-pack.
The 6-pack.
I know it.
Hey, I know your wife gasped too, so it's fine.
Actually, she was just laughing more. Actually, I'm telling you, he's more your type.
How dare you?
Gojo simp, looking at your wall.
Yes. Yes.
Gojo,
As I move my
Gojo
head.
coded. That's all. That's good. Yeah, I was just curious because that's why I just wanted to give you some perspective. Because after I looked into it, I was like, actually, I agree with all these points. Not with knowing what I know, I was like, actually, this is very valid. So, but overall, I think it's still a fun show. But I think I'm treating it as like an Elseworld type scenario.
Yeah, like an alternate universe type thing.
Yeah. But that's all I got.
That's all I got.
That's all you got? Okay. Well, I'm just going to close it out then. Thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on all our socials at NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo. If you're on YouTube, let us know what you thought. Like, do you feel like any of this stuff that I mentioned, or like what Veronica mentioned, does it actually make sense to you? Or like, do you feel like you disagree with all this stuff? Do you think the show's absolute trash? If you do, give this video a like. Sure. Why not? Otherwise, click all the buttons from right to left. Yeah, right to left. Right. Oh, actually, wait. Right to left. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm going the right direction.
Yeah.
And subscribe at the end. But other than that, Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.